Guys, this space has been evolving so rapidly. I myself am just one person. I can't keep up with it. I really do my best for you guys. I try to update you on the latest AI generated art, the latest AI news, different models, different versions, and not just AI generated art, music and text generators. But if you want to get up to date on the absolute latest, you should really consider checking out my Discord. We just passed over 3,000 members, and you guys, the community of this channel and my Discord, are incredible. You guys post stuff so quickly in that Discord. When there's like a new update for dall-e, Stable Diffusion, or a new crazy AI that comes out, you guys are on it in my Discord, posting about it, talking about it. It is impressive. You're much faster than I could ever dream of being. So if you viewers at home want to stay updated on the latest and greatest, I would seriously consider checking out my Discord. With that being said, we've got a lot of really exciting stuff to talk about. Opening up here, Stable Diffusion actually got an update. Unlike dall-e, who mysteriously update dall-e 2 without really telling people, unless it's like a feature change like Outpainting where they make their blog posts. The actual core model, the image generation itself, gets updated in here in the Dream Studio. And of course on the GitHub, because as we know, Stable Diffusion is open source. So right under model here now in Dream Studio, the official way to generate with Stable Diffusion made by the creators of Stable Diffusion, we can select which version of Stable Diffusion we actually want to run. So the last one that we've been testing and messing around with was 1.4, which of course was a very fun model, but significant improvements now have been made with version 1.5. So again, links will all be down in the description if you guys want to play around and test this new model, but I definitely have noticed a vast improvement in faces, hands, and overall coherency, I would say, of the model. So it's not like a crazy major overhaul update, but it's just tweaked to be better. As you can see, here is my test prompt for today. Better Call Saul in the style of a Grand Theft Auto 5 cover art, digital art 4K, highly detailed, trending on ArtStation. And I'd also like to point out this generation right here, very important. We got some text on here, and it's looking pretty good. Definitely on par with the likes of dall-e 2's text. It says, Beater Call Guyland, and I think they're trying to say, like, this is the game's name, Grand Theft Auto, maybe. But this is pretty close to Better Call Saul. We're just one T away here, one L away here, and delete one of these L's and replace this with an S, and we're there. And honestly, the font is looking consistent and nice as well, so that might have been an improvement here with Stable Diffusion's 1.5 update. But other than that, we can see the faces are really nice. I mean, there's 5 Sauls here. Let's be real. This is like Attack of the Saul clones, but they're looking pretty good. These faces are also nice. You know, this is a pretty close Saul face in this specific style, very specific style of Grand Theft Auto 5 cover art. This Saul's not looking so bad either. And let's say I wanted to improve these faces. This is just a little extra tidbit I'm throwing into this video. Go ahead and download this photo. Head over to replicate.com, which I talked about in my last video, and go to this GFPGAN practical face restoration algorithm for old photos or AI generated faces. So let's see if we can't take our Saul face here and give it a little bit of an improvement. This one will also be linked down below, by the way. We just click right in here and select our image, or we could upload our own webcam photo, apparently. I selected my Saul image here. I can select a version as well. They even tell you that apparently version 1.3 is better quality, but there's more details and better identity with version 1.4. And we actually get some upscaling in here, so we can double the resolution of our image here, which is really nice. And we will submit this here. And very quickly and cheaply, by the way, we've got a nice face restoration here of these images, and I gotta say, they look a heck of a lot better, and the upscaling isn't too bad either. So yeah, this is like a built-in upscaler and phase restorer. I highly recommend testing this one out. It's very popular here on replicate.com right now, with 270,000 runs here. But yeah, you can see this really did quite a lot of work for Saul here, getting a nice image of his face. So yeah, that was a little tidbit, a little trick for you guys to use with any Stable Diffusion generated faces or even dall-e faces. So yeah, this is running obviously in the new 1.5. Let's run the same prompt in 1.4, and I think there'll be a clear difference in a lower quality here with the older model that we were using previously. And okay, with this generation right here, we can see Actually, this one is completely cut off. The text just isn't as good. I mean, it's still there. The font looks good at least, but this is Beanad Kolb. That just isn't right. These images aren't bad by any means, but we got better Cold Beth. And yeah, I think that the 1.5 here just produces nicer images as a whole. It's not a huge crazy improvement or anything like that, but yeah, I think there is definitely an improvement in the new model. This one's looking real nice. I really like this image right here, I have to say. Anyways, moving on to our next topic today. We've got a little clip here from Twitter by a very talented developer named Gene Kogan, work in progress collage tool for Stable Diffusion. So he's developing a tool similar to dall-e's new Outpainting. Actually, in fact, I think this little clip here was released prior to dall-e's Outpainting feature being announced. But yeah, this program looks absolutely fantastic. This has been floating around my Discord for a few days now. A lot of people in my Discord have been talking about it. Basically, we sort of draw a little square here in a specific resolution, type in our prompt, and it slowly begins to generate. And we can scroll and drag and create another square here, and slowly begin to just collage together some Stable Diffusion generated imagery. And of course, it's going to work very similar to the dall-e new Outpainting feature. But yeah, this looks really intuitive to use. It looks really simple to use, and it really seems like it's able to do the same thing with inpainting here and collage images together really quite nicely. And it also looks like it works really quickly, and the inpainting feature also looks like it's very nice. This really seems like it's going to give Photoshop a run for its money in the future, a really advanced program similar to this, or I don't know, maybe Adobe with Photoshop is already jumping into this space. If they aren't, they definitely need to, because this is going to be very, very competitive in the near future. This already looks extremely powerful. I really like the nice, simple user interface that's created so far. I like that you can just sort of drag to select an exact size that you're going to generate here, very specific little sizes of generations. With dall-e's Outpainting, you're still stuck to generating 10 by 24 squares over and over again, where, if I just want to do a little bit of a generation on the side, with this program, I would be able to do it. And to the best of my knowledge, at least, this is completely private. It's not released to the public yet or anything like that. And this is just a little demo of him showing off what he's working on with Stable Diffusion. But it is very powerful looking and very incredible looking. And yeah, this is the competitor right here to dall-e's Outpainting. And again, this was already released before their official Outpainting. So the space is competitive, and it is getting very interesting, and I'm very excited to hopefully test this out in the future one day. I would absolutely love to do that. I'd also like to point out a really specific reply to that tweet. This guy, Johan Nordberg, says that he built something similar for dall-e too, but they banned him when they found out about it. He said he'd love to switch it over to Stable Diffusion and keep working on it anyway to get API access. And he shows his version of a very similar program working with dall-e too, which is pretty crazy. So it's a similar clip here. You can see it's all working through dall-e, where he can generate stuff. This looks very similar, actually, to dall-e's Outpainting feature, and that might be the reason that they banned him, is because he was literally accessing dall-e and doing what they originally were going to do. And honestly, his looks like it's almost actually better than the original dall-e Outpainting that has been released now. But yeah, this looks like it's really good as well, and I'm very excited for all these different AI art tools to really come out in full force, and we can be able to test them, have a nice user interface to really just explore this new AI art space that has been growing so far lately. A new Google collab has actually come out. The creator of this Google collab contacted me. This is very interesting indeed. This is attempting to actually improve the results of CrAIyon with Stable Diffusion. So it's a hybrid between CrAIyon and Stable Diffusion. So we're getting, the base coherency that CrAIyon has, the base really good understanding of text. That's something that CrAIyon really has well. Good understanding of text. It just can't formulate that understanding as well as Stable Diffusion or dall-e could. So this aims to generate that basic idea in dall-e Mini and then use Stable Diffusion to just enhance the coherency and really reel in a nice good image. So this Google collab, of course, like all of the other Google collabs, is free to use. It is a little tricky to run. I'm not going to do a full tutorial on it today, but basically what we want to do is run all the cells in sequence. At some point, when you run these, it has to clear the VRAM usage to get both of the models in the same thing. So that's when you see, for example, you run something like this and it says that your session has crashed. That's him just basically clearing out the VRAM memory of the Google Colab so we can get this to work for free. The first cell will restart the notebook, the one I just ran, and then you want to run all of the cells after that, all these little arrow buttons here on the side. But essentially what we do here is we first generate our original prompt with CrAIyon. So I did trail cam footage of the Queen of England eating a popsicle close up, and that's my output here from CrAIyon. And then now we got to move on to feeding the CrAIyon output to Stable Diffusion. The cell below restarts the notebook, continue with the following cells. Output from CrAIyon is fed into the Stable Diffusion model in the steps below. And yes, you do actually need a Hugging Face profile, which is free to have to get this to work properly. And he says, go to your profile settings, access a token. And when you run this, you have to put a token in. And eventually we feed that quite horrifying result back into Stable Diffusion here, and we get a nice coherent image of the Queen of England eating a popsicle trail cam footage. And honestly, that's not a bad image right there for such a complex little prompt. As you can see, it's very similar to the original CrAIyon output, but it is enhanced quite a bit by Stable Diffusion. And what I'm going to do is take this prompt here and go back into Dream Studio and run this through Dream Studio really quickly to show you that, in fact, this actually does provide better coherency. As you can see, these photos aren't so bad. In fact, this one's pretty decent right here, but right here we've literally got like an image of some kind of a mountain lion. This one's sort of cut out. This one's not as coherent either. Whereas when we go back to this output right here, we can see she's holding the whole popsicle stick. And honestly, I've run this a few times. It does take a little bit of time to run, but I think my results are actually coming out better on average than Stable Diffusion. In general, this is a really cool concept, and I think it works quite well, and you can run it for free with this Google Colab that I will link down below. And finally, to finish off today's video, I'd like to show you guys the easiest and quickest way that you guys can run Stable Diffusion at home for completely free, and that's through the legendary huggingface.com. So we've got a nice, simple little interface here. It's not as good, in my opinion, as the Dream Studio interface, but again, this is a free trial and then it does cost money. It's very cheap. This one is completely free, and it's just a really simple, little, easy Stable Diffusion demo to run at home. It does take a little bit longer than the actual paid Stable Diffusion, but it is completely free. We can also choose from 1 to 4 images, go up to 50 steps with this one. Guidance scale is also in here, and seed. So not as many options as you get with the Stable Diffusion web app Dream Studio. And you actually get some example prompts down here too. But yeah, this is just a really nice way, I think, to show people Stable Diffusion for the first time, and it does, again, take a long time to eventually generate through Hugging Face, but a lot of people in my Discord were saying that I should show this to you guys because it really is the easiest way, I think, to run Stable Diffusion for free at home, so I will also link this one down below. And as you can see, it takes a little bit of time, but we get our results. This was just simply beanbag chair, fine art, and yeah, these are some pretty coherent little beanbags. I wouldn't mind sitting my butt on them. But yes, everyone, that's going to do it for today's video. Basically just a little news info dump, mainly around Stable Diffusion today. Seems to be a theme as of lately, really mostly just tons of news about Stable Diffusion and, well, a lot of the capabilities it seems to be giving developers and artists alike. Well, thanks everyone for watching. I'll see you in the next one. And yeah, check out the Discord, check out some of my other videos, and make sure you subscribe if you've liked the content so far.